Hi, welcome to Yogalates. My name's Ellie and I'll be leading us through this 60-minute workout today. We're going to start with a little bit of a warm-up and then move into some Pilates movements and then end with a nice cool-down stretch. So all you really need is a mat, or if you don't have a mat, you can just fold up a towel. You can get water at any time. Just remember that this is your practice, so take it at your pace and you can feel free to modify at any time. So we're going to start on our hands and knees in a tabletop position, getting ready to go into cat-cow. So arching your back inward as you inhale, and then bring it towards the sky as you exhale. Just starting to warm up the body, getting it ready for our workout. And then coming to neutral spine and coming down towards your toes into child's pose. Just letting those hips sink back and stretching your arms out to reach the top of your mat. Taking a few breaths in the center. Then moving both hands to the left edge of your mat and getting a stretch through the right side body. Then coming to center and then bringing them to the right side of your mat. Center, coming up into tabletop, tucking your toes and pushing into downwards facing dog. You can pedal your feet out, getting a nice stretch through the backs of our legs. Taking nice deep breaths. When you're ready, slowly walking your feet to the front of your mat to reach your hands and folding forward. Inhaling, coming to a straight back, and exhale, folding it forward again. And inhaling halfway, exhale, folding it forward. This time on our inhale, we're going to come all the way up to rising, bringing your hands up with you. You can come up with a little bit of a back bend. And then exhaling, folding it forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, folding it forward. Inhale, coming all the way up. Doing a small back bend to the right side. And then the left side, and folding it forward. From here, coming in to a high plank, and then stepping your right leg forward, and just holding it here, and bring hands to heart center. And then putting your left hand down, raising your right arm to the ceiling, and staring up towards it. Doing a few breaths here. Putting it your right arm down, bringing your right leg back to the mat, coming on through Chaturanga. So coming up as you inhale to upward facing dog, as you exhale, downward facing dog. And walking your feet to reach your hands, Inhale halfway, exhale folding it forward. Inhale coming all the way up, and exhale folding it forward. This time just step your right leg back, keeping your left leg in that lunge position. Bring arms over your head to heart center. Then placing that right arm on the ground and lifting the left arm to the ceiling. Taking a few deep breaths here. Dropping that down. Coming to plank and going through Chaturanga. Inhale on your upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So dropping our knees and coming to a seated position. We're just gonna roll our shoulders a little bit, kind of roll them back, rolling your spine back, and then to a straight back, rolling it back to curved, and then to straight, curving it, straightening, placing your left arm down on the mat, raising your right, and just stretching out the right side. And then coming to center, placing that right arm down on the mat, raising your left, and going over your right side. Coming to center, getting ready to come onto our backs. So coming up, imprinting that lower back on the mat, preparing to lift our legs into tabletop, engaging your lower core, drawing that navel to the spine. We're raising both of our legs and both of your arms to the ceiling. We're gonna start by lowering our left leg and our right arm, and then bring them to center. Then your right leg and left arm, bringing them to center. Using your core to keep your body nice and steady. The lower you drop the leg, the harder it's gonna be. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those legs in, giving yourself a nice quick hug. So we're going to start by planting our left leg down on the ground. We're going to lift that right leg up, and we're just going to lower it and raise it. Using your abdominals as much as you can to do it, and trying not to move your hips. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time we're going to do little circles. So you're coming down, swinging it out, and back up. So flexing on the way down, pointing as you circle it back up to a little half circle. That's 3, 4, and 5. This time, pointing it, coming up, swinging it around, and coming back to center. and center. That's 3, 4, and 5. Bringing that leg in, giving a nice squeeze, extending your left leg out, hovering it up over the floor. We're going into our bent knee stretch. So pulsing your right leg in for 2 and then switching to your left leg for 2. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that right knee down and then extending your left leg. And we're just dropping it down as you flex it down and pointing it up. Really squeezing those inner thighs, keeping your leg nice and straight. That's 4. So you have 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping it here. We're going down, out, and up for a little half semicircle. So down, out, and up. For 2, 3, 4, 5, and this time now we're going out and then up. Going out, in, and up. For 3, 4, 5. Bringing it in, getting a nice squeeze, extending that right leg out and going into our double knee or bent knee stretch for 2. Try and get those shoulders as high off the mat as you can. And we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both in. We're going into our double leg stretch. So from here, we're holding both knees in, and then we're extending out and squeezing them in. So extending and in. Trying to keep those shoulders lifted the whole time. The lower you put your legs, the harder it's going to be. Making sure that navel is being drawn into your spine. And we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding it out here and doing little flutter kicks. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw those legs in. Give yourself a nice hug. Putting both knees down on the ground. We're going into a little bit of roll-ups. So the first one, just having your hands behind your knees to help you up if you want. We're just gonna, as we inhale, coming up, going to a straight back, and as you exhale, slowly rolling down through that C-shaped spine. So you inhale, coming up, exhaling, slowly rolling it down. If you want more of a challenge, just have your hands out by your sides. You have 4, So staying from here, we're placing our hands are behind us with our fingers facing our toes, and we're coming up into like a reverse tabletop position. So from here, we're gonna go into tricep dips. So you're gonna dip down and lift your right leg up, straighten and put it down, and then bend, lift your left leg up. So alternating your feet as you bend and straighten. If this is too much, you can always just do tricep dips. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down, coming back onto our backs, lifting our feet up, your toes, your feet touching, and splaying out your knees. Then flexing your feet, we're going to be crunching up, coming down, and then extending those legs. So into a little frog position. So getting ready to go into that. Remembering to really squeeze those inner thighs together. So crunching up, and then extending. For 1, 2, 3, 4. Remembering that the lower you go, the harder it's going to be. 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping that right leg in, we're going into our bicycle crunches to bring opposite elbow to opposite knee. Really taking them slow, trying to get that elbow to that knee. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hugging both those knees in, giving yourself a nice big squeeze. And we're coming around onto our hands and knees. So we're going to start with our left leg, extending it back, using that core to keep yourself nice and balanced, and we're just going to raise and lift that left leg, keeping it nice and flexed. Into that. And we have 4, 3, 2, 1. We're bending that knee and pointing the toe. You're going to bring it in, bring it out, and then do a push up. So bring it in, out, push up. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping it straight, flexing that foot, and doing tiny pulses. You have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down, coming on to our forearms. We're going to point that toe. We're going to bring it down, up, then down, and then to the side. So starting that, having it pointed, bring it up, down, to the side, down, and up. Now raising your left arm, we're doing tiny pulses to the side. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, we're just extending it back. So bringing it in and back, driving that knee to reach your elbow. We have 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, keeping it out in tiny pulses. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping it down, pushing up into downward facing dog. Getting a nice stretch here. Then walking those hands to meet your toes. And coming up to standing, putting your feet about hip width distance apart. We're going to narrow squats. So just squatting back and up. Keeping your back nice and straight. Making sure our knees aren't going over our toes. We're pushing through those heels. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing up, floating it forward, and walking those hands back out to a plank position. I'm just holding it here. Drawing our navel to our spine, just breathing through it. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly dropping those knees, coming back into tabletop. We're gonna go onto the other side. So extending that right leg out, we're just gonna be raising it and lowering it. So raising it up and down. Really flexing that foot and squeezing your glute at the top. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping it raised, bending that knee. We're gonna come in, straighten into a push-up. So pulling it in, straighten into a push-up. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, flexing that foot and just doing tiny pulses. You have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down, coming down onto all fours. You can bring that back in. We're gonna be lifting it, lowering it, and then raising it to the side. So going back into that little circuit, lifting, down, side, down, up, down, and side. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Leaving it at the side. Coming up on that right arm and doing tiny pulses to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping it raised, extending it back, and bringing it into your elbow. And we have 4, 3, 2, 1, keeping it straight and out, just tiny pulses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down, pushing back into a child's pose position. Just taking a few breaths here. Coming up onto your right side. So we're just going to start by pointing your left leg, bring them to like the edge of your mat. We're going to bring it in to as a bent knee and then straight in and lower. So bringing it in, straight in and lower. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering it down, we're just going to raise them straight up, just raising it as high as you can and lowering. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping it raised, we're going to point it to the front, flex it to the back of the mat. Bringing it to the front, flexing and pushing it back. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Laying it down, bringing it up towards the middle of the mat. We're going to do inner thigh lifts on the right leg, so just lifting it up, doing tiny pulses. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down, extending that right leg, your left leg, making sure your left foot is in front of your right. We're going to come up onto our arm and we're going to go into planks. So pushing through that right arm and your feet, coming up onto a side plank, extending that left arm over, and then slowly coming back down. Coming up again. Nice big stretch, and slowly lowering it back down. Coming up, back down, up, back down. Last one. From here, placing that left arm down, we're going to be pushing into down dog and then coming back into a plank, bringing your right knee to your right elbow, and then back to down dog, then bring your left knee to left elbow, back to down dog. So alternating between down dog and a plank, really using our core to stabilize us and get that knee as close as you can to your elbow. And we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just coming into a plank position, and we're just going to tap our knees down, alternating each knee each time. Making sure our back is a nice straight line. Our navel is drawn in towards that spine. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming down and switching to that other side. So our left side is now down on the mat. Both feet are extended to the corner, and we're just going to bend that right leg in and then extend it. So bending and then extend it and bringing it down. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're just going to raise it and lower it. So raising as high as you can and lowering it back down. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping it raised. We're going to point it forward and flex it back. So pointing forward and sweeping back. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully placing it down and bringing it to the middle of your mat. Going into those inner thigh lifts on our left leg, flexing that foot and just pushing up as high as you can. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering that down and extending your right leg, making sure your right foot is in front of your left. Coming up onto that left arm, we're pushing ourselves into that plank. Bring that right arm over your head and then lowering back down. So coming up, imagining those hips are being pulled towards the ceiling, really using our obliques. Last one, holding it here, placing that right arm down. We're gonna go into down dog, and this time we're gonna take our right leg and bring it to the left elbow, and back to down dog. Bring your left knee to your right elbow, and back. plank here for 30 seconds. Squeezing through your whole body, really making sure that core is engaged. You have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly dropping those knees, coming around onto our backs. Drawing those feet to touch your heels, to touch your fingertips. We're gonna go into glute bridges. So slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lifting those glutes to the ceiling, giving a nice squeeze at the top, and then slowly lowering. Trying not to unload the tension at the bottom. So we're keeping that nice hard tension the whole time. Trying to push those hips higher with each raise. You have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping those glutes lifted. We're just gonna alternate lifting up our heels. Lifting the left and then the right. You have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting those both up and just holding it here. Squeezing those glutes, feeling it in our calves a little. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Only lowering those heels, keeping our glutes raised for another 30 seconds. Really squeezing them, pushing us up as high as you can, trying to get an inch higher than you were. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lowering those legs back down and relaxing into the mat. So we're gonna extend the right leg, having your knees about in line with each other, and we're just gonna lower it. And as we raise it, we're just gonna crunch forward. So you can put your hands behind your head, exhaling as you crunch in, inhaling as you lower. And we have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Putting it down and going moving to the left side, extending that left leg, lowering it as we raise it, crunching up. Two and one, lowering it down. So for this next exercise, you can either continue doing that, just alternating legs, but what we're going to be doing, we're going to raise that right leg, straighten or bend. We're going to do a sit up, come up, switch, and come back down. So come up, switch it, and coming back down. If you need help, you can always pull yourself up with your hands behind your thighs. We have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down, we're going to go into our stretches. So coming over onto all fours, pushing back into child's pose. Just letting your body sink into that mat. Extending those arms as far as you can reach them in front of you. And just breathing here. From here, coming through tabletop, tucking those toes, pushing back into downward facing dog, walking it out a little bit. Taking some nice deep breaths here. And coming to center. Bring that left leg forward in between your arms. Letting those hips sink and stretching out those hips. If you want, you can walk that foot to the left edge of your mat and open up that hip a little bit more. And then walking it back to the center, lowering your right knee and sinking those hips a little bit deeper. If you want, you can take that left arm and grab that right ankle, getting a nice stretch through the right front of your leg. Releasing that, slowly letting it lower, pushing through that left leg, through your hips, and extending it and folding over your straight leg. nice stretch through the back of our leg. And pushing forward, bending your left knee, coming into a half pigeon. Just letting those hips sink. You can come down on your elbows if you'd prefer, for an even deeper stretch. Just really allowing those hips to open here. Taking our last breath here, tucking that right toe, coming up, and then pushing back into down dog. Walking it out here. Feeling a little bit looser than maybe the first time. And taking that right leg, bringing it forward in between your two hands, and letting those hips sink down. You can walk it to the corner of the right side mat, opening up that hip a little bit more. Walking it to the center, dropping your left knee. Just sinking a little bit farther. You want, grab it, taking your right arm, grabbing your left ankle, getting a nice stretch in the left side of your front leg. Slowly letting that go, pushing through your hip, straightening that right leg and folding over. Taking a few more breaths. And bending that knee, coming into half pigeon. Opening up those hips even more. Coming onto our elbows if you want. And just sinking into that mat. taking that left foot, pushing back into a plank position. We're going to slowly lower ourselves down, slowly bending those elbows, pushing in to an upward facing dog, stretching out the front of our body. Just rolling the shoulders back. Then when you're ready, tucking those toes again and pushing into downward facing dog. Holding it here for a few more breaths. And then slowly lowering your knees to the ground, coming to a seated position. Pulling out the shoulders a little bit, taking that right arm and taking it across your body, getting a nice stretch. And then swapping sides, taking that left arm across your body. Taking that right elbow over your head, pulling it upward, getting that nice stretch through your tricep. And switching sides, grabbing that left elbow now. Both, rolling the shoulders out again, taking that right ear to your right shoulder, stretching out our neck. And bring it to center and bring that left ear to your left shoulder. Center and slowly doing neck circles, starting to the right and slowly going to your left. Stopping at any place that seems to be a little bit tighter and just using your breath to help release that tension. Last one in this direction. Coming to center and then going to the left side. Center, shaking it out a little bit. We're going to take our right leg in front, bending your left knee behind us, taking that, grabbing your left ankle with that left arm and just folding over. On that side, stretching out our right obliques. Placing that right arm down or your right elbow and stretching over to that right side. stretch through the left side of our body. Coming up to center and going over to the left side. Coming back to the right. Coming to center and switching legs. Bring that left leg in front, folding that right leg behind you, taking your right arm, grabbing your right ankle, and bending over that right side. Placing that left arm down, taking that right arm over your body. Getting nice stretch through that right side. Coming to center, going to the right side. Placing that arm or elbow back down. Then last time, coming to center, going over. Down and coming to center. I just want to thank you all so much for coming and joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it and had a good workout, and I hope you guys come next week. Thank you.